Hey, what's going on everybody? So this is Chris with Devil in Detail back again. So I'm gonna try to make this video a little bit shorter. I know my engine bay video went pretty long and I didn't really intend for it to go as long as it did. So I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit shorter, actually quite a bit shorter. So this one I'm gonna cover how I do wheels, tires, and wheel wells. And I'm not trying to show like how you do just a heavy, just hammered, beat down truck. Again, this is my truck, and you can see my wheels and tires aren't very bad. You can see there's some brake dust and stuff built up on the wheels. They're not just horrible. Tires aren't too bad. They got a little bit of dried up mud and stuff on them, and kind of the same thing with the in the wheel wells. They're they're a little dusty. There's some little dried up mud on them and stuff. We did finally get a break from the rain, and then it came right back. So we're trying to get out of the rain and finally get into some decent weather. So on this one, then I'm gonna try to cover, like I said, how I do these. I'm gonna kind of go over what brushes I use, what chemical I use, and stuff like that. And for stuff like this, you'll notice there's a lot of the same stuff that I use for engine bays. So first of all, I have a 5-gallon bucket mixed up again with the Gold Class and water. And then so the brushes I'll be using are, I've got the long fender well brush again to get back up in all the fender wells and everything. Then I've got the this short handle brush, and this brush has very, very stiff bristles. And the only thing I ever use this one for is I have another tire brush, but I will go back over the tire with this one just to make sure I get everything off. And sometimes if wheel wells are really bad, I'll use this one again to scrub off any hard dirt or anything like that. So this brush is the one I usually use for tires. It's got a good handle to get a grip on here, and it's kind of got a little thumb dimple to get a good grip. And these bristles are kind of in between the brush I just showed you and my short handle soft brush. This one right here. These bristles are kind of in between these two. This one is really stiff, and these are really soft. I only use this brush, and if I'm not using on the engine bay, I only use this for like just the face of the wheel because it's very soft. It's not going to scratch anything. These bristles I use for tires the first time, especially if tires aren't very bad. I'll just use this one. They're a little bit stiffer than the green ones, but not as stiff as the other blue one. And then the last thing I'll use is I will use this small detail brush again. I'll use this one. I'll get up inside all the lug nuts with it. I will get around the valve stem with it. And if the wheels have very small spokes, I'll get in between with it. And one thing I don't have for to do my wheels with is that the long brush I used, the longer brush I used in the engine bay video, the wheel woolly, the real long with the real thick head on it. Normally I would use that for wheels, but the way my wheels are set up, my brake rotor on the back wheel is very close, and on the front I have there's a dust shield, so you can't really get any big brush back in there to go anywhere. So so sometimes on mine I'll use a smaller brush that's a smaller wheel woolly to kind of get in the back here, but on mine they're really not very bad, so I'm not gonna worry about it on this one. So then for my chemical I'm using Super Clean again, diluted 4-to-1, just like I did on the engine bay. And then on this one, you don't necessarily have to have it, but I am gonna be using my pressure washer on this one. So so I have a Sunjo pressure washer. It is an electric pressure washer, so if you hear that little something kicking on just every few seconds here, that's my pressure washer in the background kicking on. So I'm gonna be using pressure washer on this one. Again, you don't have to have a pressure washer. I'm just gonna do it. I like using them on wheels and stuff, especially. It makes it go a lot faster, and it knocks stuff off really good. So I'm gonna be using pressure washer on this one, and just to make it kind of go a little faster. So what I'm gonna do with this video is I'm gonna do this whole wheel, tire, and wheel well on a normal speed, just so that way you see how long it takes. And then I'm gonna stop the video, and I'm gonna make another one on the front wheel, tire, and wheel well. And on that one, I'm gonna do a time lapse just to kind of go over it again. So on this one, I'll be showing my full process, and then on the other one, I'm gonna be basically just showing, the time lapse and show you how I do it. So stick around and check this one out. All right, so here we go on the first one here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pressure washer and I'm gonna spray everything out in here. I'm gonna knock off any loose dirt that I can. So there's no real rhyme or reason the way you do these, because everything is gonna get kind of splattered and everything, but I still like to start with the wheel well first, and that way everything is gonna fall down. So the way I usually do them is I go wheel wells first, then tires, then wheels, and then I go back and spray everything back off again. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray off everything inside the wheel well, and then I'm gonna spray the tire and the wheel too. Okay, so now that everything is hosed off, I'm gonna take my Super Clean and I'm gonna spray on everything. I'm gonna make sure I get these bed braces in here. I'm gonna make sure I get the leaf spring, make sure I get the side of the frame here, make sure I get everything coated really good. Okay, so now that I've got Super Clean sprayed and everything, got it soaked down, I'm gonna take my fender well brush and I'm gonna get some soap on it here, the Electric Clean Power, and just to help it glide better. And I'm gonna start going through and just start agitating everything here. Again, no real rhyme or reason, certain order you have to do anything. Me personally still, I always, just out of habit, go from top down. So I'm gonna start, I always take this little edge here first before my brush gets very dirty. Since this edge is painted, I always get this lip first, and then on my truck I get the bed braces, and I just go ahead and start with the inside of the tub here, and then I just kind of work down. Make sure I get the side of the frame all the way up in here, get the leaf spring, top and the sides, and the bracket where it mounts up here, get the shock all the way across the side of the frame, everything I get to with it. Then go ahead and get the back part of the leaf spring, top and sides. Another thing I'll go ahead and get while I'm in here, you can't really see much in the camera, but I'll go ahead and get the muffler here, the pipe, or I'm sorry, not the muffler, but the pipe and the exhaust tip here. Because that is something else that's low to the ground that gets really dirty, and I don't like to mix it with my stuff, the things I clean with my paint. So I'll go ahead and get the whole exhaust too while I'm getting wheels. So after I've got all the wheel well done and agitated, then I'm just going to go ahead and let all that sit there and let it keep eating the dirt off. And I'm going to take my Super Clean and go ahead and spray the tire down. And again, just like it was the engine bay, since your tires and everything get pretty dirty, I'm going to be pretty liberal with how much I use. I'm not going to use a ton, but I'll be pretty liberal with it to help it break everything down really good. So the first brush I'm going to get is going to be this kind of medium grade stiff brush here, the tire brush. And I always kind of start right from the top. This is me, I guess, kind of being right-handed. I push to the left and go around. And when my tires are kind of wide, I'll get this smaller section here first, and then I'll go back and I'll get this top edge. So now I've got all this intersection done, I go back around and I'll get all this shredded area here on the side. So after I've got with that brush, I'm gonna go right back in with this the stiff brush, and I'm gonna hit it all one more time real quick. And then one thing I'll do with this brush right at the end is I'll go back where my tires have all these deep grooves in them. I'll go back and I'll hit them this way just to make sure I get everything out of all these grooves. So again, I'm gonna let this sit for just a minute. Go ahead and spray the wheel down. Wasn't a whole lot on the wheel, so I'm not gonna use a whole lot of Super Clean on it. So first thing I'm gonna take is my small detail brush. I'm gonna go ahead and get right here around the valve stem. And then I'm gonna work around each one of the lug nuts. So after I got all that done, I'm gonna take my soft flag tip brush and I'm gonna get all around the face here. And this brush has long enough bristles it can get all the way back in here into all these grooves. So I go back through again, just make sure I got everything here. Go back around the whole wheel here. And one thing you want to look for when you're doing tires especially is you can see how the foam that was making here has a brown haze to it. So if you're cleaning your tire, if the foam is really brown, it wasn't horrible in this one, but if it's really brown, you want to clean it again so your foam turns white. When it turns white, that means it's actually clean. It's not pulling anything else off. So since mine was still a little bit brown, I'm going to spray everything off and I'm going to hit my tire one more time really quick to make sure I get some good clean white foam coming off of it. Okay, so I've got everything sprayed down. I'm gonna go through one more time again, like I said on my tire. Not gonna use as much Super Clean, just enough to get some on there. And then I'm gonna take my tire brush again and go back across it again. And you can see now that this foam is a lot wider than it was the first time. So that means I've got everything off that's gonna come off of this tire. And sometimes you'll notice when you clean tires, after you're done with them and they dry, they get kind of this brown haze on them. And that's not, when you clean it, if you're getting white foam off, and after the tire is done, you still see a little bit of a brown haze or a brown film kind of, that's not that the tire is dirty. What that is something they're putting in tires now to make them last longer. And you don't really ever see it until the tires are completely clean, and that film kind of comes to the surface, and you kind of see a little bit of a brown film on the tire. So if they are actually clean, you know they're clean, and you still see that brown film, don't worry. All it is something in the tire. It's not something you actually get off. So now the tire's done, I'm gonna spray everything back off. And when I spray, it's gonna clean the wheel well. So I'm gonna spray the wheel well again, and then I'll bring you guys in again. I'll let you see everything after it's all sprayed off. So now that everything is all clean, sprayed off, I'm bringing you guys back in. Let's check it out. So you can see now the difference in the tire here. Of course, it's wet. It's going to look clean while it's wet, but as it starts to dry in those little areas, you can see there's no more brown on them. And then up in the wheel wells now, they're rich and black. Of course, again, they are wet, but now that everything is clean, they're cleaned all the way to the front of the leaf spring, all the way up to the bracket, the shock, the side of the frame here, the full tub, and cleaned everything back in here, Listely spring, the whole exhaust here, got all that. So now that all that is done, I'm gonna go up to the front wheel and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna time lapse that video so it's a little bit faster. So I'm gonna let you guys check it out on a different wheel.